Have you ever had a night where you just couldn't sleep through? Not because of stress or noise, but because your bladder kept waking you up again and again. That was my reality. Not just once in a while, but almost every single night. I'd crawl into bed exhausted, hoping for a full night's rest. But at 1:12 a.m., then again at 3:20 a.m., like clockwork, I'd find myself stumbling in the dark to the bathroom. It wasn't just frustrating, it was draining. Morning no longer felt like morning. I was groggy, unfocused, and tired of pretending this was normal. And then one day, while chatting with a retired nutritionist friend over coffee, she said something that stuck with me. You ever think it's what you're eating before bed? Even the tiniest snack can mess with your bladder. I laughed at first. What could a few almonds or a handful of nuts really do? Turns out, a lot. That simple conversation sent me down a path I never expected. I started paying attention, not just to what I ate, but when I ate it, and most importantly, I discovered that some nuts could calm my bladder, while others were sneakily triggering it. This video is my story and my journey how I went from waking up 3 times a night to finally sleeping through till morning. It's gentle, it's practical, and it might just be the thing that brings peace back to your nights too. So grab a warm cup of tea, sit back, and let's talk about the 5 nuts that help, and 5 you need to avoid if you want to rest easy. The first nut that truly changed my nights was the humble almond. I'd always seen almonds as just a brain snack, something you eat to stay sharp. But I never realized they were working behind the scenes to help my bladder relax. And let me tell you, that small shift in thinking made a big difference. Almonds are packed with magnesium, a mineral that gently soothes the smooth muscles around the bladder. And as we age, those muscles start acting up. They send false signals, telling us we need to go, even when the bladder isn't full. It's like a faulty smoke alarm that keeps waking you up. But with magnesium working in the background, those signals quiet down. I also found out that almonds help balance blood sugar. That was another surprise. I didn't think blood sugar had anything to do with my sleep, but when your sugar crashes at night, it can jolt your body awake. And I used to think that was just aging, waking up tired and restless. Turns out, part of it was my snack choices. So I made a habit every evening around 5 p.m. I'd eat 6 soaked almonds. I'd let them sit overnight in a little bowl of water. In the morning, I'd peel them, and by evening, they were soft, warm, and easy to digest. Sometimes I'd toast them lightly in ghee for a cozy flavor. No salt, no spice, just calm and clean. That one habit helped me cut my bathroom visits in half. It wasn't magic. It was just nature doing what it does best, gently supporting a body that's trying to rest. And if almonds can do that, I wondered what else I might be missing. The next nut I added to my routine was something I had honestly never paid attention to before: foxnuts, also known as macana. Now, I'll admit, the first time I heard of foxnuts, I thought, that sounds like something from a fancy health store in California. But once I gave them a try, they quickly became my evening favorite. They're light, crunchy, and incredibly kind to my body, especially at night. Foxnuts are naturally low in sodium and oil, which means they don't overstimulate the kidneys or trigger the bladder like many other snacks do. For someone over 60 like me, that's a game changer. Anything too salty or greasy in the evening used to guarantee a restless night running back and forth to the bathroom, unable to fall into deep sleep. But fox nuts, they're different. They're rich in calcium and plant-based protein, which don't just support bone health, they help relax the body and calm the nervous system. After I started having a small bowl around 6:30 p.m., lightly roasted in a teaspoon of ghee with a sprinkle of cumin or black pepper, I noticed a real change. No bloating, no discomfort, no late-night interruptions. And here's something else I learned. Fox nuts don't weigh me down. You know that heavy, sluggish feeling in your belly that sometimes keeps you tossing and turning. These little guys are so light. They let you feel satisfied without being stuffed. That's important, especially for older adults whose digestion isn't as fast as it used to be. In fact, I started thinking of fox nuts as the perfect wind-down food, quiet, grounding, and easy on my system. It's no wonder elders in places like Bihar and Bengal swear by them. For me, they've become a gentle evening ritual that my body thanks me for. The next nut that found a permanent place in my evening routine was something tiny, almost unnoticeable flax seeds. But don't let their size fool you. These little brown seeds brought some of the biggest changes to my nights. At first, I didn't expect much. I mean, they're seeds, right? But the moment I started adding just a teaspoon of roasted flax seeds to my warm milk around 5:30 p.m., something shifted. My body felt more grounded, more relaxed, and my sleep deeper than it had been in years. Flax seeds are one of the richest plant sources of omega-3 fatty acids, which help reduce inflammation, especially the kind that causes bladder irritation. For folks like me, over 60, inflammation doesn't just show up in joints. It shows up in the way your bladder wakes you up at night when it doesn't have to. Even better, flax seeds support hormonal balance. They contain lignans, natural plant compounds that mimic estrogen, which is especially helpful for postmenopausal women. My wife tried this with me, and she swears it helped her stop waking up every couple of hours. But here's the part I didn't expect: flax seeds actually help increase your body's melatonin levels, the hormone that controls your sleep-wake cycle. Instead of struggling to fall back asleep every time I got up, I started sleeping through the night. The only thing to keep in mind: timing. Don't take them too late. Their fiber content is amazing for digestion, but if you eat them close to bedtime, they might get things moving when you least want it. That's why I stick to my early evening milk and flax ritual. It's soothing, warm, and the perfect signal to my body that it's time to slow down. Trust me, something as small as a teaspoon of flax can become a big part of your peace at night. If flax seeds grounded my evenings, then sesame seeds, or till, as my grandmother used to call them, warmed my nights. There's something about sesame that feels ancient, like a secret passed down for generations. I discovered them one chilly November evening, and they've been a nightly comfort ever since. Sesame seeds are rich in healthy fats, calcium, and plant lignans, all of which play a big role in hormonal and bladder health, especially for folks our age. For my wife, who experienced frequent nighttime urination after menopause, sesame brought noticeable relief. And for me, they helped in a more subtle but powerful way by calming my system from the inside out. According to Ayurveda, sesame is a warming food. It balances vata, the energy linked to restlessness and dryness. And honestly, I didn't realize how much internal restlessness I had until I felt at ease. That little glass of warm milk with half a teaspoon of sesame seed paste, taken around 7:30 p.m., became my personal shut-off switch for the day. The calcium in sesame helped relax my bladder muscles, preventing those false alarms in the middle of the night. And the fats. They gently nourished my body, keeping my tissues hydrated and comfortable, something we all need as we age. Of course, like everything, moderation is key. I avoid combining sesame with heavy sweets or fried foods at night, learned that the hard way. Instead, I might sprinkle lightly toasted sesame over a warm veggie soup, or simply enjoy it as a paste in milk. Either way, it's soothing, simple, and deeply effective. It's easy to overlook small rituals like this, but when your nights are filled with peace instead of trips to the bathroom, you begin to realize how much power there is in tradition and how healing can be as simple as a spoonful of seeds. I thought I had it all figured out with almonds and sesame seeds until I stumbled upon the truth about peanuts. I used to enjoy a handful of roasted peanuts every evening, especially during the colder months. They were crunchy, satisfying, and reminded me of old family get-togethers. But what I didn't realize was how disruptive they were to my sleep. Peanuts, it turns out, are high in oil and sodium, making them heavy on the digestive system, especially as we get older and digestion naturally slows down. I began noticing that after eating peanuts, I'd feel bloated, almost uncomfortably full. That bloating put pressure on my bladder, and like clockwork, I'd be up 2 or 3 times a night, trudging to the bathroom. It wasn't just the bloating, though. The sodium content in salted peanuts increased my thirst, which meant I'd end up drinking more water in the evening. Another strike against a good night's sleep. I didn't connect the dots at first. I thought it was just part of aging. But once I cut them out, the change was immediate and dramatic. Now, instead of peanuts, I reach for a small bowl of lightly roasted foxnuts, also known as macana. They have that same satisfying crunch without the oil or salt, and they don't overload the digestive system. I roast them with just a bit of ghee and cumin, warm, gentle, and soothing. I learned the hard way that not all nuts are created equal, especially after 60. Some can be comforting allies, while others silently sabotage your rest. Once I replaced peanuts with bladder-friendly alternatives, my nights became calmer, and my mornings felt brighter. Small choices, big changes. That's the lesson I carry with me, and one I share whenever I get the chance. Next on my journey came a nut I had always loved: cashews. Creamy, rich, and always present in festive meals or indulgent snacks. Cashews were my guilty pleasure. But after a while, I started noticing a trend on the evenings I ate them. I'd toss and turn in bed, my body warm, sometimes even sweaty, and I'd make extra trips to the bathroom. That's when I learned that cashews are high in oxalates, compounds that can irritate the bladder lining and contribute to kidney stones over time. Even though they taste smooth and feel harmless, they were quietly causing my bladder to become more sensitive. And in Ayurveda, they're considered a heating food, meaning they raise your body's internal temperature, which explained my restless, sweaty nights. For someone like me, already navigating the changes that come after 60, slower digestion, lighter sleep cashews became more of a burden than a treat. That realization didn't come easy. I had to give up one of my favorites, but I reminded myself, what's a moment of indulgence compared to a full night of deep, uninterrupted rest? So I made a switch. When I craved something soft and rich in the evening, I started turning to a slice of ripe papaya. It's cool, soothing, and great for digestion. It doesn't overwork the bladder, and it leaves me feeling light yet satisfied. That simple swap gave me back the comfort and peace I was missing every night. Sometimes, the foods we love don't love us back the way we think. And after 60, it's even more important to listen to how your body responds. Cashews are still around, but now they're reserved for rare daytime treats, not my nighttime routine. Now, let me tell you about walnuts. You've probably heard they're good for the brain, and that's true. They're rich in omega-3s and even contain melatonin, the sleep hormone. But here's what I didn't know for someone like me. Over 60, with a sensitive bladder, walnuts in the evening could be quietly messing with my sleep. It started gradually. I'd eat a handful around 8 p.m., thinking I was doing my body a favor. But those nights, I'd wake up feeling bloated, with subtle pressure in my lower belly, and once again, the dreaded urge to use the bathroom, even when my bladder wasn't full. Turns out, walnuts can lightly stimulate the bladder. For most younger folks, that's not a big deal. But at my age, when digestion slows and sensitivity increases, even mild triggers can make a big difference. And the gas. Oh yes, walnuts can cause that too, especially if you eat them late in the day. That gas builds up, puts pressure on the bladder, and tricks your body into thinking it's time to go. So, I shifted walnuts to my morning routine. I soak a few overnight and enjoy them with breakfast. That way, my body digests them while I'm active and upright, not when I'm trying to rest. And in the evening, I stick with soaked almonds or foxnuts, simple, gentle, easy to digest. I sleep longer, wake up fewer times, and feel much more rested in the morning. I guess the lesson here is that even healthy foods can work against you if you eat them at the wrong time. At this stage in life, it's not just about what you eat, it's also about when you eat it. As I sit here, reflecting on all these small changes, I realize how powerful they truly are. Who would have thought that something as simple as choosing the right nut at the right time could have such a deep impact on my sleep, my mood, and even my mornings? It's easy to overlook the basics when we're searching for complicated solutions. But the truth is, at our age, it's the quiet, thoughtful choices that bring the biggest results. Replacing peanuts with foxnuts, moving walnuts to breakfast, adding a touch of sesame to warm milk. These aren't just nutrition tips. They're acts of self-respect. They're me saying to my body, I hear you. I'll take care of you. And here's what I've learned. Consistency is everything. The first few nights, I didn't notice much. But by the end of the week, I was waking up just once, or not at all. No more dragging myself out of bed in the dark. No more broken rest. If you're watching this and feeling like restful sleep is behind you, believe me, it's not. It just takes a few mindful changes. So start small. Try one tip tonight. See how you feel. And build from there. And if you've made it this far, I just want to say thank you. Your time matters. Your health matters. And so does your peace of mind. Let's keep this journey going. Hit that like button, subscribe, and leave a comment with the word hope, because at any age, hope is what gets us through the night and into a brighter morning. Take care. Sleep well. You deserve it.